You're listening to the Happy Dog Podcast, which is designed to bring you ideas and uplifting information to help you live a meaningful and fulfilled life with your dog from a holistic and all-natural perspective. I'm Alicia, your host and owner of the company Holistic Pet Wellness. I've been working with dogs for over 10 years in many capacities, and it's led me to be a certified canine massage therapist, animal aromatherapist, herbalist, and nutritionist. I offer services over at holisticpetwellness.co, in person in the Chicago area and remotely to pet parents all over the world. My goal is to give dog parents tools and resources to be proactive and feel reassured in their dog's health journey. So let's dive in to this podcast episode. I'm glad you're here. Welcome to the Happy Dog Podcast. This episode, we are talking with Cory, who is the co-founder of Dogly. It's a company that she started with her mom, Jane, and their 4 rescue dogs to help pet parents worry less about the inevitable, am I doing this right, questions and moments that I know we all have. So they wanted to develop a resource and website for pet parents to go to access certified positive reinforcement trainers, nutritionists, holistic vets, and really amazing online products that they recommend that are chemical free and all natural and all the good stuff. So just like having a fairy dogly mother over your shoulder who knows you, your dog, and who you can always count on to support you. And I think that's pretty amazing because a lot of times we're just looking for support in navigating our lives with our pets and doing the best for them. So thank you, Cory, for being here.
Thanks for having me. I'm so excited.
Yeah, thank you. And so tell us a little bit about how this all started with Dogly. Like, you know, when did you and your mom say, okay, we're doing this?
Yeah, so my mom and I actually started Dogly together, I think almost like 4 years ago now. And when we initially started, we started because of the love for our rescue dogs. And so when we initially started, we were sort of completely in the rescue world and really working super closely with rescues all across the country to help sort of drive the adopt don't shop message and help them bring in more funding and donations. And kind of through working with them, we realized that we all have so many questions about our dogs. And it's really nerve-wracking and like stressful to have a dog right now. I think there's way too much information out there that you don't know who it's coming from or if they're certified or if they should really be giving this advice or opinion. And it's just overwhelming. So we wanted to create this world where, you know, no matter what you're looking for, whether it's products or advice from a certified positive trainer, or, you know, maybe you're exploring starting to cook for your dog and you want to have a recipe specially formulated for your dog, or you just want to add some blueberries to your dog's kibble. Like, we want to create this world where it's, you know, this judgment free, which I think sort of today in social media, it feels very like you get attacked for no matter what you're doing, somebody has an opinion and they think what you're doing is wrong. So we wanted to create this like safe space where it's all products and people that have been vetted by us. So we're calling them advocates rather than experts. But so we created this advocate community where every advocate, whether it's a training advocate or a nutrition advocate or a wellness advocate like you, everybody has been vetted by us. So we've done an insane amount of research into every advocate that's a part of Dogly. We have spoken with all of them. And they're all truly people that we would trust with our own dogs, and that we want to learn from, and we want to subscribe to them. Um, and so yeah, we just wanted to create this world where it's this trusted resource where it does feel like that friend that you call when it's like, oh my gosh, like what do I do?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, we've all had those moments with our dogs. Probably like I almost like every day I have that feeling with my own dog Bosley, where it's like, am I doing this right? Like he just had a meltdown on the street because he saw like some dog that he didn't like, or I'm cooking for him and I don't know if this is balanced. Like you just wish that you had that certified person who knows what they're talking about, that you could just like easily turn to and ask a question, and just feel like supported and not so stressed about having a dog, which should be like the happiest part of your life.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
so yeah, so that's Dogly.
Yeah. No, and I'm really all about the dogly world right now, like in terms of getting people to join the communities, because I see so much more value in what you've created than like your traditional Facebook group. And
Yeah.
frankly, I have been feeling so much anxiety over the past few months about this Facebook group that I started because, you know, it got to the point where like I had to stop just letting people post anytime they wanted, because they were either like asking for diagnosis
Yep.
questions, which is like literally illegal, and like
Yep.
I could get in trouble and my business could be compromised because of that. Or you know, like nobody could listen to somebody else's opinion, you know,
Yeah.
and especially if that opinion wasn't even an opinion, it was like a fact based, like scientific research piece of information. You know, they didn't want to hear it. And you know, it's tough because social media is so great, but then there's this pretty dark side of social media, and I feel like it's really um you know, rampant within the pet community, because we all want what's best for our dogs, but everybody thinks they know what might be best based on another Facebook group that they saw. And this person said this and that person said that. And, you know, this person posted a really pretty picture of a raw food bowl, but it's completely not balanced and it's actually really not nutritional at all. And so I'm transitioning that Facebook group that I have totally over to Dogly, like because
Right, that's awesome.
yeah, because I want this to be something that people can get value out of and it not cause more stress
Yeah.
than what people might already be dealing with. You know, like you just want an answer. Well, I'm here to give you an answer, and I know people that are serious about their dogs too are going to join something like this, because yes, you do have to pay, but that just shows that you're serious about it. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of taking it that next level up.
Yeah.
And so that's just my side note opinion about that.
Right. No, I love that because it is true. Like I see it and I hear it. I even was having a conversation with somebody last night that like you should never feel bad about the choices that you're making for your dog. And
Mhm.
especially you shouldn't feel bad like somebody in a Facebook group or whatever who doesn't know you, doesn't know your dog, doesn't know your situation should not be shaming or making you feel bad because you feed like
Right.
everybody's
Right.
lifestyle is different. We're all only doing our
Totally.
best.
Yeah.
But I think it's who you sort of like who you take that advice from and who you learn from
Mhm.
uh, is really important. And no matter if it's nutrition, if it's training, like any, and sort of the reason that we set up this advocate community to cover, all the different aspects of your life with your dog is like we really believe in seeing your whole dog so that it's not like training impacts wellness as wellness impacts train, like it's all connected.
Totally. Yes.
And so to have all that living in one space, to have it all be certified professionals, It's it just makes it helps you worry less, and it makes it easier to know, to figure out like what is good for your dog, because like
Mhm.
what's good for your dog isn't necessarily good for my dog.
Exactly.
My I say this all the time, but like my I think the most popular question that we get, just through like social media or whatever, is like, what food do you recommend?
Yeah.
I say to people all the time, like, that is honestly the hardest question to answer, because I don't know your dog. I like there's so many questions that I would need to, and I shouldn't even be answering that because I'm not a certified professional, but for any of the advocates, like that's why we set it up on this ongoing monthly membership, so that the advocates can really get to know your dog, and they can really give the best advice, and not just like, oh, like here's like maybe a good brand, and maybe it's good for somebody else's dog, but it might not be good for your dog, and there's
Right.
just so
Yeah.
much to know, to be able to like actually give useful advice, um,
Mhm.
that just to sort of like throw a question in a Facebook group and then get hundreds of comments and opinions, it's just too
Which
much.
half of them are conflicting.
Right. Yeah.
And that's where too it's like, sure, if you're just looking for, popular opinion on what to feed your dog and you don't really, want to get into the nitty-gritty of things, then maybe a Facebook group is the place to go.
Yeah.
But um, if you're serious about what to feed your dog for your individual dog, then a place like Dogly is where you want to be. And that goes not only for like feeding, but for training,
Yeah.
and for just all the resources that you have too. Like, even for like the business advocates that you have, like, if you want your business to succeed within the pet world, you shouldn't just be going to general business Facebook groups. Like, go to the
Yep.
business advocates that are in the pet industry that have been doing this for a long time, and they're experts at this point. So that's really where I think Dogly differs, because it's kind of taking it a step up. Anybody can go into Petco and say, what should I feed my dog? I want the best food. And sure enough, like, they'll have an answer for you, like, this is the best food right now. But is it the best food for your dog and what your dog might be dealing with? And that's where, people like me, and I know many of the other nutrition advocates or wellness advocates, like, when I take on a nutrition case specifically, I mean, it's like an in depth 4-page document that you're filling out about your dog. And that is what shapes how then I can decide what could work.
Yep.
It's not as simple as like, what's the best food out there right now, because so much differs and so much depends on your specific dog. But anyway.
But that's so great. I mean, it's like that's what it should be, right? Like you should, just with people, as we figure out like what works for our bodies versus what works for somebody else's. Like dogs are the same way, and we should be asking a lot of questions, because it breaks my heart when I see people over and over again like battling allergies with their dog, or
Mhm.
whatever the sort of like ongoing, it might not even be like a major issue, like flaky skin, or like
Mhm.
there are things that, um it's not like a huge, intense health crisis that is like waving a red flag in our face every day, but it's just the dog, your dog could be living better and feeling
Mhm.
better,
Well, being
and
more in like a state of balance versus
yeah.
having this kind of imbalance going on.
Right,
Mhm.
yeah. So just to, like, have somebody, at least for me, like, we honestly, we built Dogly for ourselves and for our dogs, and just to have like, I feel, less anxiety and stress just to know that I have a group of people that I can just, like, send a message to, and everything for for anybody that hasn't been onto the advocate community, so it's basically set up in like 3 different memberships, and one of the memberships is essentially like a direct message that like, if I was a subscriber to Alicia's, wellness community, that we could just be like messaging back and forth ongoing throughout the month. So it's not, different from like booking an hour session. It's like literally as things happen throughout the month, you can just be like sending her messages.
Mhm.
Um, and for me, like that just like even saying it makes me feel less anxiety
Yeah.
because you just know that like things are going to come up, of course, and I just know that I can just like send you a quick question and be like, this just happened, like what do you think?
Right.
um,
Right.
and I already know my dog, and so it's just such an easier um, way to figure out what's going on
Mhm.
than like not sort of having that safety net.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like true dog nerd. Um,
Yeah.
like
It's really
if
for
you,
dog nerds. Yep.
yeah, if you are a dog nerd, like this is definitely for you. And the obviously the ideal situation is if people go and like try whatever you're talking about
Yeah.
uh, with their own dog, but even just to know that everything that you are going to be kind of teaching or talking about in your community is all in one place. And if people have questions they can ask, if they want more, direct one-to-one support, they
Mhm.
can get that from you. Um, so yeah, I mean, I'm just super, super excited about it all.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, like if something 1 month isn't, you know, something that really you're super interested in, that's okay because if you're doing direct support, we can focus on something else because you
Yep.
get one monthly in-depth session with me and that is in addition to just chatting with me one-on-one. So like if there was something other than what I was talking about that month that you wanted to focus on, like specific to your dog, we would do that. So
Yep.
that's pretty cool. Um, and it's just kind of trying to think about what to offer because there's so much that I could cover, and so it was really hard for me to like pare down and think about what hopefully people will be interested in and that's why I only scheduled through February and then hopefully I can get feedback and more info on what people are interested in for the next part of the scheduling post February. But yeah, it's my hope is to really give people a well-rounded approach to just a holistic lifestyle with your dog and thinking proactively in a lot of ways. I mean, one of the things we're going to touch on is um, canine cancer wellness. And even if you don't have a dog that has cancer, it's something to really keep in the back of your mind, because you might have a friend with a dog who has cancer or, a family member's dog with cancer, or you might be experiencing an aging dog. And so, what are things that you can kind of do proactively to, um, learn more about the steps to take to even like feed better, do herbal support and things like that.
Totally. I think being proactive is almost like one of the pillars of this advocate community,
Mhm.
'cause it's across everything, wellness, training, like, I'm going through some training issues with my dog right now, and so I've subscribed to one of the training advocates, and we're at the point where it's not like we're not all the way to like having a training emergency, but
Yeah.
I want to be proactive about it. And I've just been noticing some things and wanting to, get ahead of it before it becomes something.
Yeah.
Um, and I think it's the same with wellness and nutrition that like you just want to do everything you can to stop something from happening that
Mhm.
could happen in the future.
Mhm.
um, so whether it's how you're feeding or supplementing or like anything like that. I just think the more knowledge that we have, to prevent things from happening. You know, it's sort of like only taking your dog to the vet when something's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Like I am a big believer in taking your dog to the vet when like just like as like a wellness checkup.
Right. Yeah.
You know, to make sure things are still good rather
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
when something horrible is happening.
Doing proactive blood work, especially as they get
Yep.
older, is super important, and checking for like vitamin deficiencies and things like that as they get older. I mean, all those things are all about being proactive, and that definitely is what the community is about. Whether, yeah, you're into training or nutrition or just wellness in general. And so I really love like the well-rounded um, community that's been built, because you can kind of get all those different things as a result of joining.
Yeah, and everybody's coming from the same headspace too. Like whether you're a training advocate or wellness advocate, like um, we all sort of have that holistic mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you know, because it's only positive, you know, only certified positive trainers are as a part of Dogly. Like where everybody just, you know, everybody loves rescue dogs. Everybody
Yeah.
wants to feed their dogs better. You know, everybody's sort of asking questions, and we're all
Yes.
wanting to learn and do the best we can and learn from each other. Like I think it's so my favorite part of this is that all access membership that gives you access to all of the advocates, all like whether it's training,
Mm-hmm.
because I do think that there are just so many really helpful ways that you know, maybe you're not going through, you know, some training issue with your dog right now, but like the other day I didn't even so one of the training advocates is sort of specializes in expecting parents and sort of
Mm.
baby prep.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I'm not an expecting parent, but like last weekend I had some friends come over with two of their like 2-year-olds,
Yeah.
and I had literally no idea what to do
Yeah.
with my dog, because he's like a 2.5-year-old, you know, sort of forever puppy, it seems.
Yeah.
Um, but it was so helpful to read through what she has shared with her community, so I
Mm.
can know about that. Um,
Yes. Yeah.
and I just think you may not think that you need training advice right now, or maybe you don't think you need wellness advice right now. Um, but it's almost like taking those steps to just like constantly improve yourself, your dog. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's a constant journey, even if there's not some like red flag in your face saying like this is what we need to do right now.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I just think having sort of different minds, but all coming from the same space in one place is really really helpful.
One, yeah, no, I totally agree with you with the all access level, because we're not all touching on the same things, but it's all within like the same realm of treating your dog a certain way across training, wellness, nutrition, you know? So, like, there's benefit in every single community, and we're all able to touch on different things that fall under, you know, our specific expertise. So, you're really getting like the best bang for your buck and for your dog, frankly. It's kind of like, you know, this advocate community in my mind was created by very serious dog people who take their dog's overall health and wellness um, to the next level, and very seriously. So that's the kind of people that we want joining, you know,
Yeah.
is like the serious pet parents. Like you're in it because you really value uh, a holistic approach. You value a science based approach and a researched approach, and not just something that was written, you know, in a blog post like from some random website that you have no clue who it's by, you know.
Yeah.
So you get to know everybody too, because
Yeah.
that's what we really want. Like I really want people to get to know each other and get to know me more, so I can get to know your dog some more and help more.
Totally. Yeah. To me, it really does feel like a friend. Like
Mm-hmm.
I genuinely enjoy. So we've been doing Facebook Lives and just like every time that I get to chat with with you guys with an advocate, um, gosh, I mean, I just learn like not only do I learn so much from you guys, but I just genuinely like enjoy
Yeah.
everybody, like everybody that's a part of the community. It just is coming from such a real place in really wanting to help in whatever way that they can.
Yeah.
Um, and so yeah, it's a really great group of people across every kind of different question you could have about your dog. And yeah, I just feel super lucky that you guys are on this kind of wild journey.
Well, I feel super lucky that you included me, and some of the other advocates are people that I literally like look up to, and so to be in the same realm and being able to share the things I've learned and continue to learn, and is just it's an honor for me. So thank you for what you've built, because I know it's not easy, and there's a lot of time spent behind the computer that you don't see on Instagram. That is not the pretty parts of it. But what you've created is really awesome, and I think it's just such a great way to take that next step and get out of kind of the fiery social media. Sometimes it's a dumpster fire in there. So
Yeah,
this is not, this is like, we want to help, we want to be there for you, and like really we want to help dogs. Like otherwise
sure.
none of us would be here. like
Exactly.
like
Yeah. I
we're
mean,
that
that's the
serious
whole
about it.
yeah, we're all only trying to help your dog, help you all feel better. Um,
Mhm.
and I think for anybody that hasn't checked out Alicia's wellness community, like we are we're in the earliest of early days of these advocate communities. And I think the cool thing about this, I think, is that we're all kind of creating this world together.
Mhm.
And like I have a million ideas as to like where this can go and things we can do and how we can like really help people and their dogs. And I think the cool thing is to be a part of this from the beginning and really help us like shape this. Like all of
Yeah.
your early community members are literally going to be the ones who tell us like or like show us like where this should go and how this can
Yeah.
grow that we can
Yeah.
all do together. I just think is so cool to shape like this dog world together.
Yeah. No, that's a great point. And yeah, all these early members that are signing up for whichever the advocate community you choose, and at whatever level, like yeah, you really um hold a lot of power in terms of like the content that you end up wanting to see and how you want this to unfold, because we're doing it for people like you. So if you're a member already, thank you for being there, and we appreciate you and we want to hear from you. And that's how we can all grow this and make it something big. Like I think we should do like a Dogly Advocate conference. I'm going to throw that into the
Yes,
universe out there.
no, I that is my dream to do
Yeah.
like conferences and dinners and
Yes.
coffee talks and like to have this be not only an online thing but a real world thing. I think
Yeah.
um is it's one of my millions of ideas
Yeah. Yeah.
that I have, on the list of the never ending to do list. Um, but yeah, for sure. I mean, like I just I want to help. I want this community to be whatever you guys, and by you guys I mean you, Alicia, I mean all the advocates, I mean all of your community members, like whatever you guys say or sort of show that like this is what you want this community to be for you and how it's most helpful for you, like that's what will do.
Mm-hmm.
So like Dogly is really like we've progressed over the past couple of years solely because of what people have shown us and told us that like this is what they need help with or how they need help.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, for sure. Online, in real life, all the things.
All the things. Tell us how people can find Dogly and all that sort of thing.
Yeah. So we are everywhere. So our Instagram, so we're on Instagram at Dogly, Dogly with an underscore. There's a story in that underscore, which I will save for another time.
Okay.
But yeah, so Dogly with an underscore on Instagram. On Facebook, we're at Being Dogly. And then if you go to dogly.com, that's our main site, but all of the advocates you can find at dogly.com/advocates. Alicia's advocate community is dogly.com/holistic pet wellness.
Yep.
So yeah, definitely follow us on Instagram, message me any feedback, any thoughts that you have about the advocate community. And yeah, I just love hearing from people on thoughts and ideas and anything that we can do to improve this dog world.
Yes, that's what it's all about, because then it helps the dogs and ultimately the people behind the dogs. So
Totally.
thank you so much, Cory, for doing this. And I will list all that info, all the links that she mentioned in the show notes. So you can go follow Dogly and check out the advocate communities. And I think you definitely should sign up for mine. I'm a little biased, but you can sign up, the all access, then you unlock every Dogly community, which is pretty awesome, like we mentioned. And thank you again, Cory. Really appreciate all your hard work in this endeavor. And we will
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. And we'll see everybody else next time on another episode of the Happy Dog Podcast.